but she kept the laughter from spilling out. "I'll take your word for it." He grinned again. "As you should." She shook her head and studied him, still trying to place him. One of Brady's childhood buddies, maybe? Had he come to a game? His eyes narrowed. "You have no clue who I am, do you?" Elise winced. Oops. Busted. What's the best way to answer that without offending you? His lips cracked, revealing even white teeth. "No worries. I'm Christian Monroe." That's right, Caitlin's brother. A memory tickled her brain. She had met him once briefly, probably after a game. She must have been too busy with work, the story of her life, at the time to pay much attention to him, which, if she was being honest with herself, was seriously embarrassing because Christian Monroe had "hard man to forget" written all over him. He looked good. Exceptionally so, but wasn't a man in a well-tailored suit always a safe bet to capture a woman's interest? Lord knew the style revved her engines, but it wasn't only his clothes that gave him an air of hotness. No, the man was handsome, confident, two other things she found damn near irresistible, if for the night only. She nodded. "Of course. Sorry about that. Nice to see you again." "Pleasure's all mine." Good Lord, the man's voice, deep and rumbly and everything, yes. But no, Christian Monroe was off limits, no matter how much his full lips, dark slashes of eyebrows, muscular thighs, milk chocolate eyes, and wide shoulders appealed. Although she had only met him once, the ties that bound were too tight, almost literally, with his sister being engaged to one of her players. Okay, not her player, since technically her father owned the basketball team. She was the team's assistant general manager, but hopefully soon she would be more. All of her focus had to be on taking that next step in her career, becoming the general manager, the one who made the final decisions about the team, a step no other woman had ever taken in any major professional sports league. But she would. She was going to make it, and she was going to be damn good at it. She didn't need any distractions, even if the distraction named Christian Monroe was beckoning her to forget everything she'd just reiterated to herself. She needed more champagne. Elise pressed the glass to her lips. This wasn't an official team function, so she could be a little looser, or so she'd told herself when she'd made a beeline for the bar earlier. She swiveled on the stool to face the bartender, who'd been listening and watching her interaction with Christian far too avidly, if his smirk was any indication. She wasn't surprised when Christian slid onto the seat next to her. He asked the bartender for a beer before returning his attention to her. "What were you thinking about so intently before I dazzled you with my wit?" Elise laughed. Damn it. She wasn't supposed to be engaging him. Natural curiosity and just a tiny bit of interest got the better of her. She turned her head toward him. "You think highly of yourself, don't you?" Christian grinned. "If I don't, then who will?" She tipped her glass toward him in acknowledgement. "So, what were you thinking?" Add tenacious to his list of attributes. Elise shrugged. "Nothing much." She looked over her shoulder. All the effervescent joy sweeping through the room was the reason she was hanging out at the bar. The gyrating masses on the dance floor were having a grand old time without her. Caitlin and Brady couldn't keep wide grins off their faces while they swayed in each other's arms, despite the fact that Montel Jordan's jam, "This Is How We Do It," was blaring. "You're not here to make trouble for my sister, are you?" Christian asked. Although he'd said it in a joking tone, shock still swept through her body. Her hand tightened around the champagne flute. Oh, God, he knew. Of course he did. No doubt his sister had told him. She didn't blame her, really. It was a juicy tale, after all, and there was nothing people liked more than gossip. Once upon a time, she'd hit on Brady in some misguided attempt to get back at her father, who worshipped the athlete. The team's general manager had been making noises about retiring, and she'd questioned her father about a possible promotion. He'd kept putting her off, never wanting to discuss